Shelly Barton is going to end up being one of the better point guards in our conference. At least that's what I feel, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
What makes you have that sort of confidence?
You know, I think playing on the national team this summer gave him a lot of confidence in his own abilities. I mean, he almost made the big national team. If you can do that as a sophomore going into your junior year, you should have some confidence. And I think that is why he's come back this season way more aggressive. I mean, you know, you saw that second half of the Concordia game. He really single-handedly put us on his shoulders for a couple of plays and then got us the little bit of a lead that we needed to feel confident that we were going to win that game.
A lot of close losses last season.
Yeah.
How do you get better in the last 4 minutes of the game?
I think you do two things. You execute on offense and you can get more stops on defense. And that's what we were focused on at the end of the Concordia game. We wanted to get 4 stops in a row and score at the same time, and then you build an 8-point lead. And if you're down 2, then you got a 6-point lead, and you got to take that 6-point lead to an 8-point lead to a 10-point lead. And we executed it. We executed that better than we did last year. So that's going to be really important for us in the close games.
Mm-hmm. Is that a big positive that you took away from the exhibition, Craig? And that's something that Berto and Angus just talked about. You guys weren't able to close out games very well last year, but you were in a close one.
Yeah, and I didn't think we were ever going to lose that game, so it's not perfect and a perfect example. But as I was telling Jesse, what we had on Tuesday, we can't replicate at practice. And that was a very good sort of example of how you have to play at the end of the game. So yeah, I take that as a huge positive. I'm glad that we were able to have that test and win the game to build confidence. And so the next time we're in that position, we have some memory of it and know how to execute it precisely.
Offensively, Berto's obviously the main weapon.
Yeah.
Is there any concern that there might be too much pressure on him offensively?
No, and I'll tell you why. I don't think we're going to score 104 points, and I don't think he's going to score 36. What was nice was to see Olaf score a lot. Malcolm, of course. I mean, you don't ever plan for your freshman to have that kind of output, even albeit an exhibition game. Vic had a bad game, and he was able to be productive. And so I think we have there are a lot of places we can find offense. So that's going to take some of the pressure off Roberto, and it's going to make people be a little bit more leery of trying to just shut Roberto down and letting everybody else score. Because if we can score 60, 65 points without Roberto, then Roberto can help everybody else, and then when we need it, he can go to work.
Is Charlie one of those guys that you want to encourage to be aggressive against?
Absolutely.
Sort of get to the basket?
Absolutely. And, he wasn't in the first half of the game. And I was kidding with him. His dad's here from Sweden, and I said, you were probably a little bit nervous about making mistakes because his dad is a professional coach in Sweden. But once he realized that we needed him to be more aggressive in that second half, that was the real Shelly Barton that I've been seeing in all fall in practice.
Obviously, offense isn't the big concern for you this year. It's a defense. Did you see the strides in the 2 preseason games?
Yeah,
Where are you lacking?
Where we're lacking is, well, the in the preseason games, I thought we just, as in most preseason games, we took our competition for granted, and they come ready to play, and we're ready to sort of have a little bit more than a glorified practice. Now I'll take part of the blame for that, but where I'm seeing strides is, and we were talking about this earlier, we're good with our on-the-ball defense and our first line of defense, the first guy off the ball. It's that second and third helping the helper that I want to see get better. Now, it's gotten better, but I want to see it get even better where we're not even worried about our own men. We're just worried about the guys with the ball.
Are you guys gelling? Is that process of gelling coming
The chemistry,
along?
Yeah, the chemistry of this team is as good a chemistry as I've had in the 5 years prior to this. These guys like each other. They play hard in practice and bust each other up, and they still get along.
On the defensive end, where they're sort of.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, this team is very savvy from a basketball standpoint, and they pick up concepts really quickly. This feels like it's going to be our best defensive team that I've had since I've been here.
Angus, do you feel like these two exhibition games were great for him in getting those basketball?
Yeah, he's gotten the cobwebs out. At least on tape, it looks like that. In his mind, I think he's still a little bit concerned. And once he gets past that, you'll see him with the confidence that he had last year.
He said that he was a little angry in the second half, so it made him sort of put the knee concerns out of his mind a little bit.
Yeah, and it's hard to get him upset, but we were watching the film today, and he was so upset with himself and his teammates that you're right, he stopped worrying about his knee, and then the 3 times in a row, score, get foul, make your foul shots. Next thing you know, he's forgotten about that knee, and he's playing great.
Do you want an angry Angus? But he said he needs to play level-headed.
He does. When he's angry, he overdoes things offensively. Defensively, angry is good, but then he's long on his shot. He's trying too hard to score. When we have the sort of level-headed Angus, we have the guy we need to win games.
What about Malcolm? Was obviously another big story. He's built not like a freshman.
Right.
He's a big tank, but what sort of spurred on that performance in you?
The way he practices. He's, for a freshman, he practices harder than most freshmen can at this early stage, because that's learned behavior, being able to practice that hard. But he can practice hard, and that has a direct correlation on his performance in the games.
I know it's just 2 exhibitions, but the way he played and the way he's practiced, does that push you to think maybe he needs a bigger role?
Well, we'll see about that, because he's going to have a decent role just because we're down 2 guys and our backcourt is pretty slim, so he's gonna have a role. What impresses me more, what has impressed me more than the performances in the exhibition games, is what he does in practice. And today you come out to practice after a game where you had a lot of success, a lot of people are talking about you, and he came right back to work, and it took him all practice to take the very first shot. And this is a guy who was 6 for 7 or 7 for 8, whatever he was. I mean, he missed 1 shot in the game. He did not take a shot in practice until I pointed that out. And then it was like, oh, yeah. And then he took a shot, of course. He's still a freshman.
This last game, maybe a wake-up call, not that you were going to overlook Coppin State anyways, but as Angus said, it was a good wake-up call. What do you know about Coppin? What can you tell?
They're going to be fast. They're going to be well-versed in playing games like this. I mean, teams in the MEAC conference have to play these types of games every year to help pay for their athletic department, and they're used to these games. So they're not going to come in here in awe of the fact that there is a Pac-12 on this court or that there is a Beaver on this court. They are coming in to win games, and they've won games like this. And Coach Mitchell's a great coach and knows how to get his guys prepared to play against teams like ours. So having these 2 exhibition games sort of gets us ready for a team like that.
It's No Shave November, or Movember as some call it. Obviously, Sean Shuffler is taking part in it.
Yes.
Anybody on this team that you feel has good potential, maybe yourself?
Well, I certainly don't, which is why I shave all the time. But who's got a nice beard coming in is Roberto. He's got a really nice beard. Guys
that you will want to not even try.
Olaf Schaftenar. I mean, he just absolutely has the softest looking face that I've ever seen. He may still have not shaved for the first time.